I am Bootsy Rankin, and you are watching Belizean Legend every time.
Bootsy, you know, as you talk about that whole period, man, I'm so glad that you came in today to bring that period out of that legendary studio that was coming out of Long Beach. I was producing the Mohobob Flores. I don't know if Chico, he recorded in New York.
Yeah, he in New York.
But
yeah.
people like you came out of that studio. You know, work was done in there, and you're talking about one of the most humblest musicians to big up my brother, Bull Cayetano. I see him perform at the Lighthouse now and then. He
Yes,
plays
man.
keyboard, he plays steel pan. And I used to ask him, I said, man, you know, who used to, that song that came out of Long Beach, because I met him one time and I did not know he was the bassist.
Yeah.
But I had that CD, that very first CD Mohobob brought out, and I remember the two guys on the cover, right?
Yeah.
One of them was World. And I never used to know World either.
Yeah.
But World was the one that owned the studio, right? And I used to talk with Bull at the Lighthouse, and he said, man, and me was on bass. And then I remember talking to his brother. What's his name of his brother? The older brother.
Yeah, that's Bill Cayetano. Yeah.
And Bill said that he also played in that studio.
Yeah, right.
But Bootsy, you could clear this up for me, because sometimes me and Michael Hyde is talking, and Punta Rock have its own style of bass. It's not soca bass. It is not zouk bass. Like you know, the Haitian zouk bass. It is not Trinidadian soca bass. It is not reggae bass. Punta Rock has its own bass line. And the very first time I hear an awesome bass line was out of that studio. But talk about that whole experience in terms of your music and how you were able to craft out your song, making it an authentic Punta Rock song, but you also fused a little reggae in it, right?
Yeah, right.
Talk about that.
Yeah, reggae was a different, it's another part of my field. I love reggae music because reggae songs are very conscious, you know, and most of the songs from reggae are very conscious. Especially, I used to admire Bob Marley because his song is so international, and most of the lyrics and the words that he write in his song that will give me this part of whereby when I write my music, I want people to understand what I'm singing, the word I'm singing and stuff like that, right? But going back to the bass line usually comes from off of the bass drum.
Segundo.
Yeah, it's a segundo. And as the bass roll, the guys instead adapt a different style and different tunes that the same bass line is not incorporating in another song.
And you see, people like the hip hop artists are
yes,
doing now, they are taking the 808 and it's coming off the bass drum.
That's right.
Authentically African music. Keep going, my brother.
Definitely. So that is exactly how they incorporate those bass lines and stuff like that in the music, because right now sometimes I have a tune that I wanted to bring out, dancehall shakanari. This is another fusion I'm trying to bring, because all the dancehall music that we've been hearing in Belize, that overflowed Belize and all over the world, that through Jamaica. Now what I want to do to my Belizean people, I want to hear them another fusion, a dancehall, but from the drums, they call it shakanari. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So when people start hearing it, say, man,
it's
different. Right. So they had to I have to incorporate it, whereby I know that Belizean have to flow upon this and dancehall shakanari for represent the whole world now that we have something new
That's
coming
what
up.
you want right
yes,
now?
Man, yeah.
Then you will bring the shakanari to the forefront.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how we out bring him. I'm always
Definitely.
telling my son, who's a musical producer, about the different styles of Garifuna Punta.
Right.
It's not only Punta, but there's Paranda, there's shakanari, there's so many styles. Because if you have these hip hop artists now, it's all different styles of rap. You can hear the music. It's like 4, 5, 6 different styles if you hear Dr. Dre and them. Right? It's the same thing with Garifuna Belizean music. There is more than Punta.
Yes,
so you're taking on the chaka.
Different level. It's mellow and nice dancehall. Just like how the girls, they have their drinks in their hand and they dance. I have a feel the rhythm. And as they get the rhythm, the dance style will come, because everybody know dance is the same, but the movement gonna be there. And when they start dancing to the music, Belizean gonna be proud of this dance style, shakanari. So at least they'll know. They say, oh no, we got to be one dance style, and it could be sung in English, Garifuna, Creole, whatever. It's just the rhythm. The thing that they had with some of the musicians who are non-Garifuna, they are good artists that could rap and stuff like that. But when they hear the beat, it seems like the beat
they can't
connect. They can't connect.
You gotta know those rhythms.
Yeah. But so if you flow in a but line as being a Garifuna, you could feel it. So I'm taking my time to get some of the non-Garifuna speaking artists then to listen to the rhythm.
Yeah.
Just show it to us. Say, give me something panis. Give me something panis. And when I say, that's the way I want.
It's a feel.
Yeah, it's a feel.
That's as Bull had said. The bass line is a feel. If you don't have that feel, you can't play.
Yeah,
you're going to end up with soca bass. Yeah. Man, Bootsy, man, it's a pleasure to have you in today because you are clearing up a whole lot of stuff, my brother. You're clearing up a whole lot of stuff, and as you mentioned, there's different rhythms in Belize. The Garifuna music is so broad, it's beyond Punta. There's Paranda, there's the Charapanari, as you mentioned, and now you're talking about making a fusion of a dance hall genre style where you fuse that. That is beautiful because we have heard the Punta, we have heard the Paranda, but we have never heard the Charapanari comes up to the forefront, and it appears to be that some of the Belizean artists, Punta Rock artists like the Lover Boys and the Asiatics, I have not seen them done anything. Yeah. They may have performed it, but just authentically as it is. You are talking about creating a style of dancehall with that fusion in it. This is Belizean Legends, and I'm Bilal Morris, and today we are talking to the legendary Belizean Punta Rock. And I want to go beyond and say the legendary Belizean world beat artist, Bootsy Rankin, because Bootsy Rankin music transcends boundaries. He has performed in various different genres. He comes out of a musical experience as Dangriga children's drummer. He has a vast musical experience under his belt, and he's thinking today. He's merged out of the 80s and the 90s, and today he's embarking on taking the music to another level, fusing Charapanari with dancehall. And that is a whole new thing because Bootsy, we're not seeing none of the artists, the Lover Boys, the Addicts, none of them that are on the top now. These top performing Punta Rock artists, we are not seeing them digging deeper. I never forget when Michael Hyde came back from Gabon and he said to Andy when we did the his first ever CD and album, he said to him, you need to start to get into the soul of your people's music, bro.
That's right, yeah.
The bikini panties and all of that and the sexist stuff and the Watus are cool. And I think that's what Ivan Duran of Stone Tree began because he was not on that level. He was still trying to make it out there and to put up that, the popular stuff. The Latino audiences were calling for that. Because I introduced him into shows that he blew away right out there in Hollywood, and they just loved it. And who was predominantly in the audience? Latinos, you see. But when Ivan Duran grabbed him, then we start seeing the Watina, the soul. You see, you heard all the styles that you are talking about now. Talk more, Bootsy, about that experiment that you're about to embark on, because we were a little interrupted just now there. Talk about how you are going to do it in terms of give our audience an understanding of what you will be doing with the Charapanari along with dancehall.
Well, basically, it's a beat and it's a rhythm, and for my Belizean people, I want them to kind of hear the tune whereby that they move the rhythm, because it's not only for the elderly, it's basically for the younger, because especially the younger youths that are coming up. I want them to jump on this because I don't want them to hear it first and then, if the Jamaicans get it, they're going to mess it up, because that is not what I want. I wanted the song to be a Belizean song, so they could make money after this album, and when there's a big concerts and stuff, I could have all these different artists that goes on this one album and a band to back all these. It could be in Spanish, Creole, Garifuna, and that is what I'm trying to fuse. And that is the reason why I don't want it to get out there until it's being produced properly. But you're gonna get a song. You're gonna hear this song, and you're gonna have a copy of that song, so you could at least let my audience and your audience hear what I'm talking about. So when the real thing come out, they're gonna be ready for it. And I gotta give props to Bill Cayetano. Bill Cayetano.
Bill Cayetano.
Yes, man.
Bill Cayetano.
He's like he's my manager. He's my mentor. He write lyrics. He's like the Quincy Jones for the late Michael Jackson. You know, he writes song. If I bring a song to Bill Cayetano here and say, you know what, I think it's gonna sound better this way. The lyrics gonna sound better this way, and that is what he's from what I already achieved, I guess somebody who know music more than me. That was like Michael Hyde and the bigger boy. So he's like one of my bigger brother who put me in the studio, and put it together. And he write the lyrics and we put it together. We listen to all the songs. I come up with the song. So he is the man who is behind my music now. And then at this time, I'm trying to collaborate with some of the younger artists, the one that have been out there, who trying to make it forward, but that because of the money situation, some of these artists, they can't move forward in the studio. So I'm trying to encourage them to come to the studio. We're going to listen to your lyrics, and if we see if your lyrics not sound good, we are make it sound better. We are proper, and this is what Bill Cayetano is here. And his studio, they call it the Work Studio and the Celeste Record. So that's the man I'm working with now. That's why he gonna be the one behind the legendary album, and say this album will be something that I'm gonna cherish. That down the years they could call me to do many shows or whatever, but all the songs gonna be in that right album right there that I could pick and choose how many I want to get a And Chakanara gonna be part of it on that album too. Beautiful. It's gonna be a single too, man.
Beautiful. This is Belizean Legends. I am Bilal Morris, and we're in studio with the legendary Bootsy
Rankin.
Bootsy Rankin.
Yes,
Bootsy Rankin. I mean, you took your pattern, your style, and your whole aura and repertoire of the legendary Bootsy Collins. My bad. And this is the Belizean Bootsy Rankin. My brother, as you talk and as you take this music to another level about what you are doing presently with the legendary Bill Cayetano, a very quiet personality, but a giant in terms of musical. I was able to spend some time with him at the Garifuna International Film Festival. And he was hanging out because I had two films there with the legendary film that runs the film festival. And we spent some very quality time, and I learned so much in terms of Garifuna history. Because he and his wife were able to take the hijrah, we would say in Islam, the journey. Like we go back to Africa, go back to St. Vincent. He actually went to that island, and he was telling me about his experience. But we talk about the music, and I try to get Bill to talk, and Bill was like, he didn't say much, but we don't know the depth of of Bill.
Versatile.
And but it is very, very exciting to hear Bootsy that you are in the lab and you're trying to move the music, because you can see the way the Punta Rock is stuck. I think people are saying that when you hear the present artists them performing, it's like all the songs sound like the same. That was not the case with you and the Mohobob Chico. It's like a drum machine is turned on and you just hear one thing over and over. The music has sort of got stagnated. Asiatic became creative when he brought the hip hop and he fused it in there, and we were on something again. But not since that time, we have the Lover Boys have come into the scene, and he has put the music on another level again. But it has still remained stagnated in terms of monotony. Like you're hearing one thing over and over. You are looking at bringing in another Garina Go style in the whole genres of Garina Go music, right? The Charakanari and fusing with the dance so that they can cross over
definitely.
the different dance about. This is a young generation,
right,
like Michael Hyde said, boy, that then it happen now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then they run things.
Yeah.
We can't just be stagnant enough for we way and say it has to be this way, but we have to find a way how can we cross that music over into the new. But you are making yourself relevant today, Bootsy, in terms of staying relevant. Because over the few years we have not heard much from you in terms of performance and stuff, but you're working. Talk more about the album and your work with Bill Cayetano, but talk more about where you would like the music to go in terms of Belize itself, the hometown of Belize. How are you able to then bring it out of the diaspora here in Los Angeles and then take it into Belize? Talk about your
Well, like I said from the first beginning that we hear, like you just mentioned about the music, how the song like the same rhythm over and over. If you go to the dance hall and the dance floor, when you listen to Punta music, it's so loud that you can't even hear what the artist is saying. It's much more the beat behind, and you know, people dance a lot, yes, but they don't care about the lyrics. But if you go back to the older folks, they want to hear the lyrics, so they could sing like when Bob Marley sing, you could hear them singing that song. But if you won't be out there performing and being provocative and they sing that, only your Belizean people or the people that see you every day, Panda dancer, will understand what you are saying. What do you think about that worldwide audience out there that want to listen to what you are saying?
That's why you are a world beat artist.
Right.
You have gone beyond that little small confines of just that. You're on another level.
Definitely. And that is the problem right there. These younger guys, all it is about the showcasing and the dance stage and the nastiness and the program. You know, man, no. Try and make your music have some kind of level of understanding that we know what you're talking about, everyday life or whatever. Oh, that music, it hit me, man. I remember Otis Redding, Percy Sledge, all these older guys you could listen to.
Last up to today.
Yeah, but Punta music is so loud in the background because of it's the drumming. Yeah, we don't want, you know, if you want to take this music to the international level, your music have to come lower down. Piranha style. People can hear the lyrics. People don't have to understand what you're saying, but just the way how you coordinate and how you put rhythms and you put different dynamics. You bring it up, bring it down, you know, you change it, you know, and that will make Punta Rock music much more expandable all over. But if they keep on bringing this fast music every time, those are for the younger kids. That is just beat. People are not listening to this song no more. They're just listening to beat for dance. You know what I mean? And they're loud. You know, but when you listen to artists that sing like Poots and these different guys, those are the guys that I could give thanks that they bring out good lyrics and the music is not overpowered like Lloyd Augustine. Not a young dude who just came out again. They got a few more that just, you know, I listen to some of these guys, but some of these other guys I can't listen to because I don't hear what they're saying. So international for bringing it from outer Belize so the artists they could come out in a different part of the world is, and the dancing, you know, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. That's what I think.
Yes, Brother Bootsy, you make a very important point because I remember in the 90s I was standing at the Belize Caye Fest listening to certain artists perform, and Clifford Palacio was standing next to me, an educator in Belize for many years. And he said to me, Bilal, you might not know what they're saying up there. He said, but a lot of the lyrics are not correct. I said, well, Mr. Palacio, what do you mean? He says, you know, the grammar.
Wow.
You know, the audience, like you're saying, would not have necessarily known. They are enjoying the beat, but people who are Garifuna are listening to the lyrics, and that old generation, they pride the language. And that's what Andy Palacio was so good at doing. His World Watching Tour did in keeping the language of the Garifuna people preserved.
That's right.
And so when Clifford Palacio, he probed me and he said, I know you don't understand the lyrics, the language, but you need to know. Because you hear you like what's going on. that a lot of the grammar in there. And so when I would refer to certain of the artists, them about, I mean, okay about that, man. He was saying they put a lot of slang.
Yeah.
And the language, they take care in the language because they are concerned that the language don't get lost.
Yeah. Right.
That the language is preserved. And that's when I used to see, and they write the lyrics and write the language, everything was grammatically correct.
Yeah.
And who did he refer to? Clifford Palacio.
That's one of the guys that I sit around back in the days who trying to learn grammatical Garifuna. And when I bring my music in and say, this is the way you pronounce it. This is the way you pronounce it. You don't hear me hear a lot of bad language in none of my lyrics because I want things just like what he talking about.
You consult with the
right. And he would tell me, this is good, this is good, this is the way you put this, this is the way how you say this. Yeah. And I wasn't really fluent in Garifuna back, but now that I'm getting conscious minded, I got to learn how to speak the language a little bit more correctly and fluently. I know use some of their little this and that, because most of the lyrics from some of the artists, it's like every time you say something, it stops. It's not fluent.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We need music that gonna have a circle.
The music is going to preserve the language.
Definitely.
It's popular. And I want to say a big shout out to the legendary Clifford Palacio, awesome Belizean educator, linguist. The man that gave me my first Garifuna dictionary was Clifford Palacio, and if he's still around, this is the son of Milton Palacio. This is the father of the legendary Belizean basketball player, Belizean American basketball player, Milton Palacio, who took Belize to its first 1998 Central American and Caribbean Games in basketball as our first gold medal ever. Belize won through the Milton Palacio that used to play on the
Boston Celtics, right?
No, the Canadian. Raptors.
Oh, yeah, all right. Oh, the Raptors. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think he started there too.
Yeah, point to my son who is a baller. He knows Milton. He went to the camp.
Okay.
I believe Milton brought the camp there, and he remembered Milton Palacio when he brought a summer camp back.
Yeah, right.
He was only about 11 years old. We were living in Belize. And you remember Milton Palacio. But this is Milton Palacio's father and Belizean educator.
That's right.
And I remember Andy Palacio, man, Bootsy, you are on something because you are now consulting with the awesome Bill Cayetano, a man who prides the culture, the history, and the language of the Garifuna people, because Andy is gone. He did his great work in the world tour. And Andy's job and his mission was to preserve the Garifuna language and culture, because he explained that it is disappearing in the very same way that you're talking about. These artists that are coming up, they are not using the language properly.
That's right.
And even if they broke into the Creole language, you're saying Bootsy or going to English, they are not hearing them. The music is too loud, and there is too much profanity in the lyrics. So, my brother, you are bringing back that era.
Yes, man.
You are, Andy is gone, but Bootsy Rankin is here.
That's right.
And for that, Bootsy, we are so proud in terms of what you are about to embark on in preserving, in continuing to preserving that language. Because I don't think that is in the agenda and the objective of our new present Punta Rock artists today. They are into the hype.
The hype.
They want the stardom. And we have lost the culture of the music. And I think that artists like you today, Bootsy Rankin, is very important that you are here today to continue what Andy started. Talk about the legendary Andy Palacio, your relationship with him, and because you and Andy and the Chico Ramoses and the Mohobob Flores, talk about all of them and your whole way how you fit in with all these artists.
Yeah, and the Palacio, well, I didn't know him personally until he really was making his appearance here in the States, and most of the time I would get to see him is when Patrick Barrow would be the man to bring him in for performance. But I sit in with him a couple of times and listen to his music and all that stuff. And I just knew him in a short, because most of the time he'd be in Belize, I'd be here in the States, so I don't know him as much. But the couple of times that I meet Andy Palacio, we really connect. and I kind of congratulate him on some of the albums that he's produced. And
you go see his 2007 Guatina performance at the Grand Performances downtown when he came in 2007.
I missed it that day. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
All the
yes, right. Yeah.
Historical.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, my brother.
And Mohobob, like I know Mohobob personally because me and Mohobob grew up together, and we went to the same school. We was in the same Methodist school growing up. We formed a band back in the day. They call it Metrical Boys. These were just few guys. Mime was in that group too, and we all collaborated back here. And to me, I figure like I couldn't believe that me, Mime, and Mohobob from the same school, they were going to be involved with Pen Kayatana because those guys were playing little drums back in the days, and they incorporate that. And when they went to Penn and formed that Turtle Shell band, I was already in the state, but they grabbed all that feel from the Methodist school and went back to Pen Kayatana and reformed. That's why they call them Punta Rock Legends.
That's all those right guys. There. You listen to the legendary Bootsy Rankin.
So those guys connected with Pen Kayatana, and they started that Punta Rock music. Pen already had a little ways of putting it together with his guitar. These guys come with the Turtle Shell, the Segunda Primera drumming, and that is the way how these guys really put it. Chico Ramos, I watched Chico Ramos growing up because he was one of the young artists when I went back to Belize that he was playing drums. He was playing a 6-piece drum. Yeah, he was. Man, when I saw him play, that little boy had energy. And he was so good because this time now, the Punta Rock music have changed into, bass, guitar, and he was part of some side, Song Incorporated. And when I saw that band with Lee Boy, they guys bring some song like that with Chago Towns. And a couple more guys that was involved, Miami and Mohobob, all those guys, those guys, Chago was behind the Punta Rock music back in the days, and I want to give him enough credit because with Chago, I don't know where he get the lines for that Garifuna music, but he had it, man.
You feel it, man.
Yes, and all
you feel it, man. Full of the drummer with that, the people that say, boy, you will hear it.
Yes, you will hear it, Yes, so Sharon Thompson was behind it, that musical background for Punta Rock music back in the days along with Chico Ramos. So I used to admire Chico, and as soon as Chico graduated from behind the drums, he started doing his little solo singing and he incorporated himself, and then from there he stretched out, and from there I admire his style of music too, you know what I mean? But those are the guys that I met personally and I could talk about it because I see how they survive in the music world, you know what I mean?
I want to extend your conversation to Mohobob because with all due respect to the legendary Andy Palacio, Mohobob Flores, Bootsy had a style like he was on the scene.
Yeah, man.
From any Belizean artists. I mean, I'm talking about all Belizean artists, spirit from all different cultures. And he's so original.
Yeah.
But very cultural.
He
more than Andy Palacio for me, he was more into the culture of the music. Plant your land and reap your corn.
Yes, right.
The lyrics,
roots and culture, definitely.
And he used mostly paranda. And I would ask Andy why he used paranda. He said because he played a lot in Guatemala.
Yeah.
He was always performing out there, and he had that. I said, but also you hear that Latin flavor in Mohobob's music. But you say it's not the Latin, it's the paranda that's making something like that. Why we have such a gem in terms of what the Garifuna group has brought to the shores of Belize in terms of music and rhythm. Because when you hear Mohobob would and what was coming out of the studios in Long Beach, right? Big up to the legendary world again. I always have to say, man, one day hopefully I could get Mohobob in this studio.
Yes, man. Yes.
I know most of those brothers have gone back to Belize. They've gone back home. This is Belizean Legends, and I'm Bilal Morris, and we're in studios today talking to the legendary Belizean world beat and Punta Rock artists. Because Bootsy, we have to emphasize Punta Rock, and most people who don't know in the world, Americans, they would think that Punta is the only rhythm that is coming out of Belize from the Garifuna people. Right. They don't know that there's so many different rhythms. There's just so many different styles. I want to go back more to that whole Charconara style. give to our listening audience or viewers or viewers to views, how the characanare is used in traditional Garifuna style, because I was able to see so many reenactments, both in Dangriga and Belizean here, and that rhythm, brother, it gets into your bones.
Yes.
Talk more about how that rhythm is used in traditional Garifuna ceremonial ceremonies in the whole reenactment.
Well, so certain people, you know, like when Patrick Barrow brought up the same 2-foot culture, no, he introduced that rhythm in his style with the group that he portrayed back in the days.
Babylon Warrior.
Yeah, Babylon Warrior.
Jesse Flores.
Right, yeah. So anytime you talk about that chakanare, they still use that same traditional style, because if you see how they dance and the activities that surround it with the hunter man and stuff like that, the beat is there. Now what I did was I say, you know what, I will take that same, because the beat is still there, but now musically I'm going to fuse this same song here so it could make it be a dance hall. Cross over to a dance hall. So now this will be another addition to the Punta Rock.
Because the Africans are doing the same thing with hip hop. I was in Savoy the other day, and you hear all these, my son is telling me about the whiskey and how he taking the Nigerians and you fuse it with hip hop. You know, so I see where you're coming from, brother. You're trying to cross it over. Yeah.
Get off of the fast rhythm and try to bring it down to another style that some of the younger musicians, they could eat off of this music, that they could get popularized and could start from there.
You want to make sure that when you bring musicians in to record what you are talking about, this new style that you are trying to go into, that you have to have musicians who understand how to play character.
Definitely.
You cannot have musicians who do not know. Yes, you're going to end up with something else.
And that is what I try. I want to get, let's get the format first. Because sooner or later somebody else will pick up that same rhythm and we change it, and it's going to go and go and go. Then the heart of it, the beginning of it, will be all
like La Banda Blanca did with Kung Su.
The same thing.
Cumbia.
Definitely. Because Jamaican is so well prepared with the dancer, chakanare, and if they get that rhythm, they gonna make some of their own artists get bigger for the same rhythm. Why we don't make our own Belizean artists then get the benefit of this first before it start changing? Because I know you will.
Yeah, because then Bootsy, you said something that's very important there, because dance hall comes out of a maroon Jamaican thing. The Maroons were like the Garifuna. They were rebellious to the slave master. The Maroons were like the Garifuna, like the Garinago people of Belize.
That's right.
They were called Maroons because they were exiled. The British exiled them, and they went into the hills, and they had this they had all their African culture with them, and that dance comes out of a style I think they call Poco Tempo or something like that. But it's not new. It's an old rhythm, just like Characanare, Punta, and Paranda. So when you said that, brother, you are feeling the spirit of your ancestors, Bootsy, in terms of our African ancestors and what they brought. That you are beginning to start to merge rhythms together. You are marrying two rhythms of the dance that comes out of the Poco Tempo Maroon song with the Garifuna Characanare. But that is so beautiful to know, and that is historical, because we have Bootsy Rankin on here today, bringing us this very vibrant discussion in terms of the music, and my brother in terms of your new career. What do you foresee in the future? What does Bootsy Rankin see in the future in terms of your performance? Are you going to come up with do our audience, the Belizean musical lovers, are going to see new, fresh Bootsy Rankin on the scene in terms of what you are embarking on right now, and what you are about, what you are creating and doing in terms of your music? What will we be seeing new from Bootsy Rankin in 2017 and onwards?
Well, like I say, I'm going to use my legendary album as a prodigy to move forward. But the dancehall rhythm, I'm gonna try to see how long that I'm gonna see how long we could focus on that rhythm before it start really, get real hyped up, you know what I mean? And I want to see, even if I am not performing music, I want to be like a coach behind the music that when I see these young
producer.
See these young producer. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Give me some dance steps.
Yeah.
Sing, dance. Yeah. Sing, dance. So I could see how you start
producing.
Yes. So you start regenerate that. So you fuse on out there, and man, it's gonna be such a beautiful song, a rhythm that all these Belizean people they go, understand it. And
we need the legends like you in the music. The new producers of today. You are still performing,
right.
But you are still creating. And these young Belizean artists of today that are performing the music in those various genres of Punta, Paranda, and so on, they need to have a brain power like Bootsy Rankin and others, and the Mohobob and the Chico
Ramos and the Mime Martinez's and the Bill Cayetanos and the Bull Cayetanos and the Eden Ramoses. They need to have these powerful minds behind them to show them that to keep the music in context.
That's right. In context.
And I love to hear. I love when I hear you say that, Bootsy, because they need direction.
Yeah, they do.
They need direction because they don't understand where they're taking that music.
Yeah. What next?
And the music has become stagnating. And I think that's so fresh.
Right.
Hear you say that's what you also want to do. You also want to give them some guidance in terms of how to make the music grow.
Definitely.
Take it beyond, you kind of stack there.
And represent it in the correct way.
And represent it in the correct way. And I think that is a good in terms of a good note to end our conversation today. Bootsy Rankin, and we want to give big respect to you and all the legends you spoke for them today. Chico, Mohobob, Mime, Bill, and Bull, and all of them, and Eden, and all these awesome, dynamic Garifuna Belizean musical artists today that has taken that music to the four corners of the earth.
That's right.
And the legendary Michael Hyde tell me, boy, wherever I would go in the world, they know about that music, they know about Punta Rock. He says, and they has made it big.
Yeah.
He said he walks into a record shop the other day down in Australia, and the music store had stocks of water. And they know about it. They know about it. So we want to also turn in the spirit of the legendary one and the Palacio, and in your humility and kindness in coming into the studio today to speak for all, Brother Bootsy, and to also say that the music is going to take on a whole new level through your work that you are embarking on. And for that, I want to say, my brother, thank you again for coming into the studios of Belizean Legends. And would you like to leave anything with our audience today? Would you like to share what would be your last words today?
Well, first of all, I got to give thanks to you, Bilal. You're supposed to be a role model, a teacher in every direction. I've been seeing you doing this, and you invite people, the way how you do things, and the people around you. I see you out there with the camera and all these demonstrations. Bilal is always,
I'm everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Right? So I give thanks and the praise that you're keeping up this legendary thing, and
appreciate that, brother.
So more people will come through and enjoy your show and everything, and wish and pray for the whole audience at Belize, and enough respect to all the new Punta Rock artists who will try to make it there. But I already know that some of them are not gonna no money, but sometimes there's always a way. Don't be ignorant at things, and listen to the older people and get coached the right way. That only went forward, you know what I mean? I'm here right now, I'm chilling, just to wait till some of you artists start coming, and I'm gonna go around and give you all a hand, because now I'm decided to make my last album and things like that, and you guys gonna be the one to keep the journey alive. So enough respect, give thanks. If you want to get to Bootsy, you can always call me, and we get together at Bootsy Rankin, 562-712-3670, that's my number. And anytime, Belizean Legend, big up every time.
And for that was from the legendary Bootsy Rankin, my brother. Again, it was a pleasure for you to come to to the studios of Belizean Legends.
No, respect with that.
To live life their way. Joseph Satoué died on Euromay, fighting night and day, living life their way.